Hey everyone, I'm with The Budget Life, and today I'm going to be just doing a quick, really easy recipe. We're going to be making hash browns. So when you're eating and stuff and you're on a budget, it's really helpful to have some really versatile ingredients, and potatoes is definitely one of those. So today I'm going to start off with a russet potato. Red potatoes and yellow potatoes also work really great, but today I'm just using a russet because that's what I have on hand. These are ones that you normally see for like baked potatoes and things like that. So basically all you need is a potato, some spices if you want to kick it up a notch, a cheese grater, and either a towel, like a clean towel, or some paper towels to absorb some of the moisture out of the potato. So basically you're just gonna grate the potato. Super easy. As you can see, it's making really nice little pieces of potato here. Perfect. They're gonna cook nice and even. So while I'm shredding this, I'm actually gonna turn my stove on, and we're just gonna have it on medium to medium high heat, because we don't want it to like burn. We just want it to cook and crisp up. So it's basically a gentle like pan fry, and I'm gonna be using a little bit of olive oil today. You can use any oil, you can use butter, but I'm just gonna shred this. And when you get to like this kind of a weird nub thing, just turn it this way so you're grating it against. You're really getting the most of that potato. So basically I have all of that. And you can rinse it, and you can, I washed the potato, but you can take the skin on if you're not a fan of potato skins. I like them. I know there's a lot of vitamins and nutrients in them, so I just keep them on. Just helps add a little bit of different color. Yeah. So once you have all that shredded, I'm just going to go in the opposite direction of the cheese grater here, because you don't want to cut yourself, and getting the excess potato off. And the reason we're putting it on the towel is we want to make sure these are fairly dry before we put them into the pan. We want to make sure that they're really cooking and crisping well, and having a little bit less moisture in there is really going to help with that. So I usually do that, just pat out some of that water. You can kind of see where it's coming out on the towel. Might move it to a different point on the towel as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some herbs and spices and some salt and pepper. So I have a little bit of a bowl here, and in here I have about a pinch of kosher salt. Probably about a quarter of a teaspoon, if that, of black pepper, just a couple grinds on the grinder there. About a quarter teaspoon of paprika, and about a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, and Italian seasoning. An Italian seasoning blend that I just got at Costco. So basically what I like to do is I'll just dump those right onto the potato and just kind of mix them around before I throw them into the pan. Putting a little bit of salt on there too is going to help draw out some of that moisture, but you want to make sure you're not over salting. Potatoes are weird in that they like really hold on to salt flavor, so you gotta be, I always recommend under salting versus over salting. So over here I just have my pan going, and I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of oil to that. So we're going to go ahead and do probably about half a teaspoon. Usually just eyeball it, just enough to like coat the bottom of the pan as it's heating up. We're just going to spread that around by moving it really gently. And this is a non-stick pan, especially with potatoes, because they have a lot of starches and sugars in them. We want to make sure that we are not using a metal pan unless you're going to be using a ton of oil. But if you're trying to, save money and not go overboard with your cooking oils and everything in general, you probably are going to go a little bit on the lighter side with things. Now with these potatoes, you can do a lot of other things to them as well. You can always slice up some onions to throw in when you're going to cook them. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring this over to the pan and flip it So all of those are in there, and I'm just going to spread them out nice and thin. So the thing that's great about making the hash browns is because there's still some moisture in these potatoes, that moisture is also going to help cook everything. So we're basically just going to like let this cook on the medium-high heat for a few minutes, and then we're going to flip it. I'd say probably 5 to 6 minutes on one side and then flip it for another 5 minutes on the other side. But kind of what we're looking for is we're wanting those potatoes to get slightly translucent. I'm going to try to zoom in and see how that works. Camera doesn't really tell me anything. I think my zoom's broken. But they're getting a little bit translucent here on the edges. Let me try that again. A little translucent on the edges here. So that means these are getting starting to cook a little bit more than the ones that are more in the center. So basically once the edge ones are all kind of this paler, I don't want to say paler, they're not quite as opaque, not quite as white in the center, that's when we're going to know it's going to be good to move things. So I'm going to let that do its thing, and then we'll flip it once it's ready. We're basically making a giant potato pancake. That's pretty much what hash browns are. So you can see around the edges here and here in the center, it's getting to be that clear potato-y whatever. That means these are getting more cooked. So we're probably ready, just about ready to flip it. It's only been a couple minutes. I'm only doing one potato. If I was doing 2 potatoes, it would probably take a little bit longer. But you can see the steam coming out of that, and so that's really going to help everything cook. I'm just flipping it. It's nice and golden brown. You can also, when you're making these, you can really kind of smush it all together so it cooks and is more compact. I just spread it out a little bit more this time. I got a little bit on the stovetop, so I'm just going to throw that back in the pan. And you might need to add just a tiny bit more oil when you're on this side. You can kind of do a judgment call. Most of it's pretty absorbed into the potato already, so we're just kind of finishing it off at this point. Just do that. And the hash browns are really great too because you can have these with eggs. You can have them with just like a little bit of sour cream and salsa if you want. You can just have them as is, or you can do like a full breakfast with eggs and bacon and sausage and all these other things. But I like to make these in the morning with my eggs, just really quick. Make sure I get a little bit of carbohydrates and a little bit of protein in my diet. And I'll usually just do 1 potato and about 1 egg, maybe 2 eggs depending on the morning. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, hash browns, super simple, super really easy, fairly quick as you can see. But yeah, having the cheese grater makes it 10 times easier. You get that right, really nice thin shred of the potato. Yeah. I'm going to plate this up here once it's ready, and we'll show you the final food, the final meal. If I can remember where my button is to stop recording. Okay, so the hash browns are done cooking. They're nice and crispy on top. I don't know if you can hear that, but they're nice and crispy. And so I'm just going to go ahead and top these off with a little bit of Greek yogurt. You can use sour cream if you have it, but I'm going to use Greek yogurt because that's what I have in my fridge. And I'm actually just going to top it off with a little bit of sriracha to kick it up a little bit with some spice. And there you go. Really nice, simple, basic hash brown. delicious. Eat them. I love these. I make them way too much. But they are really nice, quick, easy, and cheap snack, part of a meal, or a meal if you are in a pinch and you need something really quick and easy. Yeah, all right. Have a great one, guys. We will see you next time. And I have sriracha on my hand. I'm gonna eat that.